everybody. So we had so much fun recording this fall preview. David and I, it was so fun to get together again and to chat and preview these movies. But unfortunately, we had some internet problems about halfway through. And so he ended up having to call in for the second half of it. And so if there's a noticeable change in his audio, that's why. So sorry about that, but I hope you still enjoy it. And happy movie going. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye, everyone. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Rachel's Reviews. We're really excited today. We are back. The team's back together, and we are here to talk about fall releases. I'm film critic Rachel Wagner, and David is here.
I'm here. It's been a few months since we've been together, so I'm happy to be talking to you about movies again.
Yeah, how have you been? You're surviving the summer? We'll get through it.
Yeah, I'm trying to. It's been a pretty boring summer, to be honest.
Yeah.
Haven't seen a lot of movies this year, so
yeah,
I'm ready to fix that.
Yeah. Have you been doing any binge watching? What have you been up to?
Yeah, actually, I haven't watched a lot of movies at home. I've watched a lot of Survivor.
Yeah.
So I've been rewatching a lot of seasons with one of my friends. So that's always fun, but it's not the same as movies. So.
Do you have a favorite season to binge watch?
Oh, I
rewatch.
There's so many good ones. I like to introduce people to like Co Wrong or Millennials versus Gen X. I think those are fun ones. So.
As long as it's not Worlds Apart, that one I do not like.
No.
Yeah. If anybody doesn't know, David and I met because of our shared love of Survivor. So, yeah. What do you think of Winners Apart or Winners
Apart?
Yeah,
Winners at War.
Winners at War.
I mean, I thought it was really good. It had some disappointments with a lot of my favorites getting voted out early, but then again, with such a strong cast, it would be pretty much inevitable.
Yeah. But, well, and they almost all are sort of my favorites in one way or another.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, Tony, it was amazing. I couldn't believe that he did it and that he pulled it off and that it worked. Wow.
Yeah, he was my prediction preseason.
Whoa,
he's
bold.
Gonna be first. No. He was my prediction to be first out.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That makes sense. I forget who I predicted first out. I can't remember anymore. But I had Kim as my winner pick.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would have liked that too. I love it.
I know. She did fine. She did well. Yeah, I think maybe, I don't know. I can't remember who I had as first pick anymore. If it was was it Sandra maybe? I can't remember. Yeah. But yeah, so that was fun. That was a reprieve, I say, watching Survivor. But yeah, it's been a weird time for movies. We've had some get released to Disney Plus and other things and Netflix. But we were kind of debating about what to do as far as our show, because we usually do the preview show and then we do the wrap-up show. But it was all so up in the air. But now I feel like that Tenet is happening. All these other films are happening that I felt like there's enough that we can kind of give a preview. But obviously there's a huge caveat to this preview because nothing is sure in 2020.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, in my town, theaters just opened this weekend. So I haven't gone back yet, but I'm excited to do it. I'm a little nervous because I want to be safe, but I just miss it so much.
I know. I was saying off air that I went to the movies yesterday with my friend Jen, who I would go to three or four movies a week with. She would come to almost every screening with me. And after the movie, we had kind of had this tradition of sort of hashing out the film and what we think back and forth. And we did it after seeing the movie, and almost was just wanted to cry because I missed that experience so much. Like, it meant so much to me, and that experience, it's just not the same over the internet or other that personal. Have had this experience with this other human is really important to me.
Yeah, I completely agree. So I'm gonna have to try to rope some friends into doing it.
Yeah.
You're lucky you've got that one person. I'm not
Yeah.
sure if I can convince any of my friends to do it yet. So I guess
Yeah.
we'll.
Well, and everybody has their comfort level, and so if we understand when that, and it depends on a lot on where you live and your individual theaters, and all of those things come into play. So some of these you may end up seeing at home, some of them you may end up seeing at the theater. So let us know what you are looking forward to. But let's dive in. Let's talk about it. So the first movie that we're going to talk about, it comes out this next week. We have Bill and Ted Face the Music. What do you think about these trailers and about this movie? I will have had this week for Family Movie Night. We'll have had my review of the original Bill and Ted's. David, what do you think about the franchise and about this new movie?
Yeah. So Bill and Ted, the first two movies came out when I was pretty young, but I watched them a lot as a kid. My sister and I, we just loved to watch those two movies. They were so ridiculous and silly. They're not like great movies by any means, but I I think it was just the age I was when I watched them. It really worked for me. So I've always been wanting a third one, and I've heard rumors about it for years and years. So I'm excited it's finally happening. I'll be honest, that first trailer that came out, I was like, this doesn't look great. Second one looks better. It still doesn't look amazing, but I think the nostalgia will work for me, and I'm hoping I'll still enjoy it, even if it's not like cinematic gold or anything. So I'm actually really looking forward to it, and this is probably going to be the first movie I go see in the theaters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So maybe that's how we should rate it this time. Stream it, and if it gets a go to see in theater, that's pretty enthused. You're pretty
Yep,
excited in this case.
exactly.
uh, yeah, I don't know. I think I am more hesitant on this just because of the genre more than the actual material of the film. Like, just long awaited comedy sequels have just such a terrible track record, and
That's true.
so that's the thing that makes me nervous.
Yeah, I think about like the Dumb and Dumber 2
Hmm.
and how that was just a pretty big disappointment
Yeah,
as somebody who liked that stupid original.
right.
So you're
Yeah,
making me
Zoolander
afraid now,
2, a
Rachel.
lot of people real disappointed in that. um there's just a bunch of I mean, it's harder to think of a good example of a long awaited comedy sequel that was um really good.
Yeah, that's good. I do think like Anchorman 2 was pretty good
Mm.
for what it was. So that might be one of the exceptions.
Yeah,
But even that, it was only what, 10 years since the
yeah.
original had come out. So
And the trailers have been fine, I think. But
mhm,
I haven't been like rolling over laughing. So, but that's
right.
hard to do in just a little trailer. But hopefully it's good. I mean, I just hope it'll be fun and nostalgic, like you said, and because the first one that I think is especially funny, the way that the jokes just keep coming again and
Mhm.
again and again, and I kind of feel like the recent, well, it's not that recent anymore, but the Mr. Peabody and Sherman cartoon, I feel like that was kind of Bill and Ted, another episode of Bill and Ted's, and that's a movie I think is very underrated, and I think is
Right.
really funny. And so if they can get, I mean, the same kind of idea of them hopping all around time and making all these jokes and I if they can get some of that sort of spirit in it, that hopefully it'll be funny. So we'll see.
We shall.
Yeah, they aren't opening it for critics until the reviews aren't allowed until the day of release, which is a
Oh,
little that makes you
yeah,
a little
that's not a
nervous.
great sign.
No, but yeah, we'll see. All right. So then we have the New Mutants. If you can believe that it's actually being released. It's actually going to happen. I have my tickets, so that it feels pretty solid at this point. I'm going to go
I
see the
mean,
New Mutants.
I'll say I had tickets for A Quiet Place too, and that didn't happen. So you never
Oh,
know.
Yeah. So the journey of this movie, I mean, I don't even know if we talked about the trailer back in, when the first trailer was released, but I mean, this thing has been talked about, and I'm sure we must have previewed it at least once
Oh yeah.
before on this show.
Yeah, I'm sure we did. I think it was 2 years ago because I remember I was very excited about this. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, a horror X-Men movie? That seems intriguing.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know if it's actually going to be what I expected it to be 2 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, this most recent trailer that they had at Comic-Con, I kind of felt a little bit like it's sort of teenagers' version of Glass,
Hmm.
like all these people stuck in this, psych ward talking, and I think, I mean, and the fact that it's PG-13, it kind of makes me think maybe it's not quite as horror as they're making it seem like it is. I
Yeah,
don't know.
that's definitely the impression I got based on the latest trailer. It definitely seems more of an action film, kind of darker, I guess, but not straight up horror. And oh man, I was really looking for. I thought it was going to be more of a small film than it is, but it
Hmm.
looks like it's got huge action pieces.
But also a lot of them in this hospital. Like that to me, it kind of gave me those Glass vibes. And I
Right.
didn't hate Glass. I mean, I'm not the biggest Shyamalan fan in the world by any stretch. But I did give it a I did recommend it. I thought it was at least sort of interesting and different. But yeah, I know it kind of reminded me of that. So it's going to be, I mean, I'm just so curious at this point. It's been talked about so long that I just want to see it.
Yep. Same here. I was looking. I'll be honest, I was looking more forward to it 2 years ago,
Hmm.
but I'm still excited. Actually, hey, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe me lowering my expectations will make me enjoy it even more.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah. I mean, if anything, these movies they have going for it, it's like I'm actually going to the theater. Like I think the level of entertainment value in just being there alone is pretty high. But then again, I really disliked Unhinged, so the theater presence couldn't win that one over for me. So they still have to be a good movie. But anyway, so I'd say I mean, I have my tickets. I'm gonna go see that in the theaters. So
Yeah.
that's, yeah, got to go
I'm
see it.
definitely gonna see this one. So
Yeah. All right. Next, we have the personal history of David Copperfield. And I've been looking forward to this movie for a long time. I really like period pieces. It's a genre that I enjoy, and looks like a little bit creative, a little bit different. And I love Dev Patel as an actor, and I've loved him ever since Slumdog Millionaire, and I think he's super attractive and super good actor. I love Lion. I just think he's great, and so yeah, I'm very much looking forward to this film.
yeah, I'm not as big into period pieces, but I have been surprised by a few movies. Like I had very low expectations for Emma, and it's in my top 10 for the year.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
who knows with this one? I actually do think the trailer looks a little boring. It looks like it's trying to be funny, but it's not really succeeding for me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's I don't expect to like it that much, but I do think it has a great cast. So and it's got pretty good reviews from what I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
So
It premiered
oh,
at TIFF, so that's why there's some reviews. It was last year at TIFF,
okay,
so
that
that's
makes
why there's
sense.
some reviews out. I actually have a screener for it, so I'm going to be watching it this next week, and I'm really looking forward to it. I don't know. It looks just the cinematography and the production design, and even the casting just looks like a little bit different than you typically see in these period pieces to me.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree. So
yeah.
this one I probably will like, even though I think it's got a lot of good things going for it, I'll probably skip it
Mm-hmm.
unless somebody can really sell me on it. So if you
Mm-hmm.
love it, Rachel, and you think I should go see it, let me know.
Okay, I will. Yeah, because I mean, now to do the cinema at home, you're paying $20. So stream it is a high cost. $20 or more, depending on what it is. So I get
Or
that.
30.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. um, so then we have Rogue coming out, and this stars Megan Fox, and it's a like an army action type movie. I don't know what you genre necessarily call it with this beast. What is this creature that they're up against?
I
I
mean,
couldn't
they
tell.
said it's a lion. They said it's a female lion, so
Okay.
it looks like a cartoon to me, not a lion.
No, I agree. I wasn't sure if it was supposed to be like a mythical creature but then everything else was so grounded. I was a little bit confused by the trailer. Like, what is that? Because it did not look like a lion to me. It looked like a dog, like a large dog.
Yeah, it didn't look great, to be honest. And the trailer definitely was making you think it's going to be this like action army film, and then it just kind of swerves into its avoiding a lion movie.
Yeah,
So
I was confused. I'm glad you were as well.
yeah, I think maybe even the people who made this film might be a little confused. So,
And I actually think that Megan Fox is a better actress than she's given credit for. And particularly, I think she can actually be funny and has a sense of humor about herself that I appreciate. But yeah, I mean, they say the summary of this one is Megan Fox tackles a thrilling new role as a battle-hardened mercenary in this explosive action saga. As team leader O'Hara, she leads a lively squad of soldiers on a daring mission, rescue hostages from their captors in remote Africa. But as the mission goes awry and the team is stranded, O'Hara's squad must face a bloody, brutal encounter with a gang of rebels and the horde of ravenous, enraged lions they encounter. I literally did not know that was a lion. I thought it was some kind of dog or something. Like it looked like in one of the Harry Potter movies when they have like the three-headed dog. That's what it looked like to me.
I probably wouldn't have noticed either if they didn't explicitly say in the trailer, female lions are worse than the male lions or something like that.
I missed that. I was just watching so many. But yeah, so this does not look great. I would say skip it.
Yeah, I can't imagine watching this. So yeah. I'm sorry, Megan Fox. I'd love to see you in something else soon, but this is not it.
Yeah. So then there's Centigrade, and I actually have a screener of this as well. So I'm going to be watching it. It's a horror movie, thriller movie with these people get caught in their car in the snow and ice, and I don't know. What did you think of the trailer?
Yeah, it's hard to really get a good impression from this. I feel like I've seen quite a few movies like this, disaster movies where two people get stuck in some sort of tundra and they're trying to survive. This is a little bit different than the others I've seen.
That Kate Winslet one.
Right. Oh
that
yeah.
one was
we
so
talked about
bad.
that cinematic
it was so
universe.
Fun. It was so bad.
Do you remember the cinematic universe we talked about?
Oh yeah.
This is part of it.
That's right.
So I'm not sure. I think it could be good. It's really hard to tell. Those are hit or miss for me. So I just hope it doesn't feel too familiar.
Yeah, evidently it's actually thriller, not horror. Married couple find themselves trapped in their frozen vehicle after a blizzard and struggle to survive amid plunging temperatures and unforeseen obstacles. Yeah, it is definitely the kind of thing I feel like casting will be huge in this, and they're all unknowns to me at least. And so, but if they end up being really good and compelling, and then it could be a 10 Cloverfield Lane kind of, small kind of thriller where people are stuck in the same environment can be really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but for now, I'm probably going to wait until I see some critic reactions before I decide if I'm going to go or not. But I'm a solid maybe.
Maybe. Okay, good. All right. Then we get a little film that nobody's heard of called Tenet. It's coming out. So yes, this is the big film from Christopher Nolan. And have you felt about Tenet, the trailers? Are you super pumped? What are your
Um,
feelings?
I'll say I'm pumped. I wouldn't go super pumped, but
Okay.
I do love me some Christopher Nolan. I thought the first trailer was kind of mysterious. It didn't give me a lot to work up. That was over a year ago, wasn't it? The first little
I,
teaser, or
yeah.
close to a year ago. But the more trailers I've seen, the more of an understanding I'm getting of the film. So I think I'm pretty excited about it at this point, especially with the delays we've had. So I think it'll be good. When has Christopher Nolan made something that isn't good?
Yeah, I mean, some people like certain things more than others, but even I feel like even most people, if you have most people, his movies that maybe you feel like are less successful, they're still like interesting, and he makes interesting choices, and I don't think he's made a terrible film, that's for sure.
Yeah, I definitely don't think he's made. I mean, yeah, obviously there it's interesting because he has such a high standard with
Yeah,
films like The Dark Knight and Inception. So anything that's not at that level, like it's still good, but there
yeah,
is a bit of a discrepancy there.
yeah. I
Um,
mean, I think probably my least favorite is, I guess, Dark Knight Rises or The Prestige, but both of those are good movies.
oh, I
I
love
like
those
both of
movies.
those.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know.
I
What would
don't.
be your least favorite?
Oh man, I mean,
Interstellar.
I would say Interstellar, or maybe I can't even believe I'm about to say this, but maybe Batman Begins. It's my least
Mm,
favorite of the Dark Knight trilogy, but I still
yeah.
like it a lot.
And I know some people weren't as high on Dunkirk, but I really enjoyed it.
Oh
I
yeah,
thought
I
that
love
was really
Dunkirk.
good. So, yeah, I mean, it says the plot for this: armed with only one word, Tenet, and fighting for the survival of the entire world, a protagonist journeys through a twilight world of international espionage on a mission that will unfold in something beyond real time. And it'll just be so exciting to be in the theater watching a Christopher Nolan film, a big spectacle film that you need to see on. I have my ticket for the IMAX, and I'm going to be very safe. Very, I have I made sure that I got the top corner seat. So that way I have nobody behind me. I have nobody to the left of me. And then there's also spacing, and I will be wearing my mask, and it's going to be the riskiest of anything that I've done in a theater to this point, because most of the things that I've seen, which hasn't been that many, but a few that I've seen, it's been pretty sparse. But so this will be interesting, and everybody has to decide their comfort level for themselves, and I totally respect that. But I am so excited just to be in that environment again.
Oh yeah, me too. Especially going to IMAX. I mean, I definitely
Hmm.
have to see this at the IMAX. And it's just been so long, and
Yeah,
I have that desire to go out there and do it. So
yeah.
yeah, I can't wait for this.
It'll be so good. I'm just so excited to have that experience. And even if the movie isn't perfect, it'll be really fun to have
I
that
agree.
experience.
I'm
So,
definitely
yeah,
seeing it.
yes. And it's got John David Washington, who was so good in Black Klansman. So that's going to be very interesting. All right. So then we have Mulan. And so let's talk about the movie first, and then we'll talk about the release strategy. So I I am not the biggest fan of these live action remakes, but there are parts about this Mulan that make me interested. The fact that they cast it with all Chinese actors, and that they built this. I mean, you just look at the set that they built over there in China, and the attention to detail is really interesting. And the fact that they are trying to do something new and different, they're not just copying the original, which I appreciate. I mean, some people are upset that there's no Mushu, that there's no Shang, that there's these things, but I appreciate that they're trying to do something unique and make this war film. I think that it's interesting because they keep selling, not to get into the into the release strategy yet, but they keep selling it as well, you can take the whole family for $30, but this is a PG-13 film. This is a war film. I mean, I think that it's going to be fairly violent, so I don't think you're going to be taking your little kiddos to see it, maybe to see Mulan. I don't know. Anyway, it's interesting, and the thing that I hate in the trailers is the whole sexy hair Mulan when she's in battle and her hair looks like she's at a Victoria's Secret fashion shoot blowing. Woo! You know, it looks ridiculous. She's a warrior. She would have her hair tied down. She wouldn't want it in her face. She's got to be leading the people. It looks so stupid. And I feel like you cannot have it both ways. You can't be your grounded reality, gritty war movie and then have super sexy hair. It looks so dumb to me. I don't like it. But other than that, I think it looks pretty good and interesting. And I'm looking forward to seeing it. What about you?
Yeah, so I think we talked about this several months ago when we were previewing movies for the spring.
Yeah.
But,
Simple times.
I'll say that I have also been wanting them to take these live action films and do something different with it. So they're finally doing it with Mulan. And I'm like, this isn't the one. This is not what I wanted to be different, because I'm not a huge Mulan fan as it is. The only thing that keeps me interested is that fantasy element, is like Mushu and the music. Without those, it's a war film. I'm not usually into war films. So when I watch this trailer, it doesn't do anything for me, to be honest. So this is probably an unpopular opinion, but I'm not super excited about this one.
I don't know. It's just going to be interesting to see what they do, how people will respond with the $30, because yeah, the argument about the family film is one thing, but again, it just seems like a weird choice. I would have picked Black Widow if they could have, but I think they just were desperate. They had to present something to the shareholders with such a terrible meeting. They had to have something, and so it sounds like they at least did better than Universal about letting the theater owners, the NATO people, know that that's what they were going to be doing, as opposed to Universal with Trolls World Tour. So yeah, well, I guess we'll see what's going to happen.
Yeah, we'll see. So I probably will still see this though. So.
Mm-hmm. You'll pony up the $30.
I guess so. Maybe I can find some friends to split the cost.
Yeah. Well, and at least I guess with Mulan, you get it permanently as part of your Disney Plus. So it's not just like these 48-hour rentals for $20. So I guess
okay,
that's good.
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah. So it'll be part of your Disney Plus for forever. So all right. Well, what do you think about I'm Thinking of Ending Things?
Okay, I'm actually pretty excited for this one. One of my friends sent me the trailer a few weeks ago because she was interested in it. And yeah, I thought it was a super intriguing trailer. It seems pretty quirky. It's Charlie Kaufman, who's almost always really good. So I'm excited for this one.
Me too. Really excited because I love Jessie Buckley. And I loved Wild Rose last year. It was one of my favorites. And I thought she was a revelation in it. And so to see her in this just looks really interesting. And Charlie Kaufman. And yeah, I think I thought the trailer looked really intriguing.
Yeah. And it's got a great cast. Just like you said, Jessie Buckley. I think I've only seen her in Beast, which she was really good in that. I didn't watch Wild Rose, but yeah, it's a very intriguing cast, director, everything I think is adding up right. And I can just watch it on Netflix, so that'll be nice.
And I mean, that's probably the thing that makes me nervous the most is Netflix movies, not the best track record. But hopefully this will be a good one. And yeah, at least we guarantee we get to see it. It's not going to be delayed. So that's good. And it's got Jesse Plemons in it, Toni Collette. So, a good cast all around. And you should totally watch Wild Rose. It's so good.
I do have Wild Rose on DVD, so
you need to watch it. I loved it, at least. I loved it. So yeah, this will definitely be a watch for me, for sure.
Yes,
On
same
Netflix.
Here. An excited watch.
Yes. All right. What did you think about The Owners? This trailer.
The Owners. Yeah. So I had not heard of this film. But yeah, the trailer seems pretty interesting. It reminds me of the concept for Don't Breathe. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure. It's really hard to tell based on this trailer how good it's going to be. But I am intrigued, and I will definitely give it a chance. So I'll see this one.
Yeah, it looked interesting. They're going to be robbing this house, and and then they end up getting kind of stuck, and it ends up being this kind of this elderly couple, and there's a certain degree of supernatural things going on, and I thought it looked interesting. It looked scary, and also with a little bit of humor. Looked like it might be kind of funny. So yeah, I think it could be an interesting watch. Me in horror movies, but maybe. I mean, they say they actually describe it as a thriller, but where's the line between thriller and horror? It's tough. But what did you think about the Rent-A-Pal trailer?
Yeah, Rent-A-Pal was another one that I had not heard of, but I would say out of all of these movies that I had not heard of, this was one of the most interesting ones to me. The concept is pretty unique there. It's about this man who I guess becomes friends with somebody through these VHS pen pal type of videos, and things take a dark twist. So pretty unique concept there, and it definitely looks like it could be a highlight of the fall, to be honest.
Yeah, it looked really different. I'll just read the summary for people that are interested. It's set in 1990. A lonely bachelor named David searches for an escape from the day-to-day drudgery of caring for his aging mother. While seeking a partner through a video dating service, he discovers a strange VHS tape called Rent-A-Pal, hosted by charming, charismatic Andy. The tape offers him a much-needed company, compassion, and friendship, but Andy's friendship comes at a cost, and David desperately struggles to afford the price of admission. So yeah, it's kind of, it looks really interesting. Will Wheaton plays plays Andy, and yeah, it looked weird, but in an interesting way. It looked like the kind of thing you might see at Sundance.
Yeah, definitely seems kind of indie, but also I think accessible to a mainstream audience as well. So yeah, I'll definitely go see this one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So then we had The Devil All the Time. What did you think of this one?
Okay, so this is a movie trailer where I have no idea what's happening, yet I still really want to see this one. Like I said, I don't get exactly what the plot is, but I was very much intrigued with the way they presented it, plus the cast. I mean, it's got three of probably my favorite actors of the past few years, with Tom Holland, Robert Pattinson, and Bill Skarsgård. So that's definitely enough of a draw for me to take the plunge and go see this.
Yeah, I mean, the cast is... Yeah. Yeah, the cast is really excellent. Like you said, Robert Pattinson, Tom Holland, Sebastian Stan, Bill Skarsgård, Riley Keough, Mia Wasikowska. It's a pretty... Jason Clarke. It's got a pretty stacked cast.
Yeah, very stacked cast. So that definitely is making me optimistic about the prospects of this being a pretty strong film.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I agree. The trailer was intriguing without really telling you very much about
Mhm.
what is going on. I mean, the little summary on IMDb just says sinister characters converge around a young man devoted to protecting those he loves in post-war backwoods town teeming with corruption and brutality. So that's not a whole lot there going.
Yep.
But yeah,
Pretty
hopefully.
vague, but yeah, I actually appreciate the vagueness.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like going into movies fairly blind and just being surprised. So I think that's what's going to happen with this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. What about the Kingsman? I have not seen any of the Kingsman movies, so this one will be all on you. What do you think?
Okay. So the first two Kingsman movies are definitely a bit different than this one. They take place in more modern times, but I will say I really like both of those, especially the first one. I'm a big fan. I actually just, I think last week or the week or 2 weeks ago, watched the first one with a few of my friends. So it's definitely a favorite that I keep going back to. I think you should check it out if you can.
Mm-hmm.
But this one is definitely a different take on the franchise. It's a prequel, I guess, the origin story of the Kingsmen. So none of the same characters at all. I do think it looks pretty good. It may be missing that comedic element that the other two films have, which is one of the things I like the most about the Kingsmen. So I'm hoping there will be some humor, and we're just not seeing it in the trailer.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it looked pretty fun to me. I just had put off before I was a certified critic. I didn't see the first Kingsman because of how violent I heard it was, and I don't tend to like violent films. But then I didn't see the second one because I heard it was disappointing. And then I don't know. So it's kind of like John Wick. I just haven't seen. It's just one of those franchises that has gotten away from me that I need to eventually catch up on. But anyway, so yeah, I will. I think before this new one comes out, I'll probably see the other two. Yeah, so should be interesting. It's got a great cast,
Hmm.
so it's got that going for it. They probably
It does.
regret that they moved it when they did because it was going to come out. I think it was going to come out in like January, and then they moved it, and they probably regret that now.
Yeah, I think they probably do, but who knows? Maybe it'll work out. Probably not. I mean, with theaters not being at full capacity anymore, it
Mm-hmm.
probably will end up being a mistake. So,
Yeah. So then there is Antebellum, and this looks really interesting. It's Janelle Monáe, and she's caught in some kind of time warp thing where she goes between the past and the present, back and forth, and I don't know. It looks really interesting. Like at certain points, she's a slave, and then she's back, and yeah, I thought that it looks intriguing. I do think that I know that Jordan Peele is the next big name, but they don't want to overdo it in using him, that his prestige becomes weakened. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like from the producers of Get Out, from the director, that they're sort of like tagging his name to all these projects, executive producing. So I think they need to be a little careful with this, but with that. But I think it looked pretty good. What did you think?
yeah, I agree with you what you're saying about Jordan Peele. I mean, he's not the director of this. He's not the director of Candyman, which we're going to
Right.
talk about. But I think there may be a bit of confusion where people are going into these movies and thinking that, oh, this is a Jordan Peele film, and I mean to a degree, but not at the same level as Get Out or
It's
Us.
it's the same thing I did with Tim Burton in the '90s. Just
Hmm.
producing. And poor Henry Selick, he doesn't get credit for any of his movies because the way they advertised them as Tim Burton films, even though he didn't actually direct them.
Right. With all of that said, though, I actually am pretty excited about Antebellum. I've been looking forward to this since early this year. I do like Janelle Monáe a lot.
Hmm.
It's a pretty intriguing concept, and this is another one that's pretty vague. You
Yeah.
don't know exactly what's happening, but that makes me even more interested.
Mm. Yeah, some kind of time travel thing with her being a slave and then modern and back and forth or something. But Jenna Malone is in it, as well as Jack Houston, who I think is pretty underrated. Kiersey Clemens, who I like. So it's interesting cast. And so, yeah, we'll have to see what happens with that. All right. Then there's a movie called Cajillionaire. I saw this movie at Sundance and I had an outlier opinion. A lot of other people liked it. I hated it. I did not like it at all. It was not my style of comedy. So maybe other people will enjoy it. I thought that it was mean spirited and annoying, and I hated all the characters, and it just wasn't for me. But other people seem to be enjoying it. Evan Rachel Wood, Gina Rodriguez, Deborah Winger, Richard Jenkins. But yeah, so who knows what other people will think. I didn't like it.
Yeah, this was one that I'm not familiar with as well, but I actually did think it was pretty intriguing based on the trailer. I
Mm-hmm.
actually, I speaking of Charlie Kaufman, it kind of reminded me of something that he would do, maybe Eternal Sunshine on the Spotless Mind. It kind of seemed similar to that in ways. Maybe it's not on that level based on what you're saying, but I'm pretty intrigued.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, other people seem to really think it's funny. It did not work for me, but so you might be with all those other people. Who knows? Which I don't know. It did it did not. I don't know. I just hated all the characters, and either I felt like it was trying to do the whole Napoleon Dynamite kind of shtick, but without likable characters, and you just can't. That's the thing that makes Napoleon Dynamite work, in my opinion, is that he's a very likable character, and you're rooting for him and his friends, and so if you don't have the likable characters, especially her parents were the worst. I hated them, but other people seem to not have that barrier. So who knows what they say? I mean, it's weird on IMDb. It's described as a crime drama. I don't know about that, but it's it's more a really sarcastic, deadpan kind of comedy. I mean, these are thieves. I get that, but it's not really a crime drama. But anyway, yeah, it'd be interesting to see what people think. So
Yeah, I'll probably go see it though, and hopefully I disagree with you on this
yeah,
because we
hopefully.
certainly don't always agree.
That's right. That's right. Okay, then there's The War with Grandpa, and the comedy, Robert De Niro. What did you think of this?
um, it's it's interesting when I heard the title and Robert De Niro being in it, I couldn't help but think about Dirty Grandpa, which he was in. This is nothing like that film. This is definitely seems to be geared towards kids or families. Um, Personally, I don't feel like I'm the target audience for this. It really didn't do much for me, so I'm not excited about this one.
Yeah, this one is PG, where Dirty Grandpa was R rated, and directed by Tim Hill. I do like live action family comedies, and I'm always kind of rooting for them. And I like Uma Thurman, Christopher Walken, Jane Seymour. I hate Rob Riggle. Why does he have a? I don't understand him. Um, but I'm hoping that it'll be fun for for the whole family. But yeah, I didn't love it. I didn't love most of the jokes. Didn't seem that funny. So we'll see. But yeah, it didn't look great. So then we have The Nest. What did you think about this?
Okay, The Nest. This is are I feel like we've been getting these quite frequently lately, where it's a married couple and you're seeing their drama or their marriage even fall apart to a degree. So this seems like that type of film. It's really hard to really get a good judgment on this one before seeing it. It could be either really annoying or really heartfelt and strong. So I'm not sure what to expect with this.
Yeah, it was a little bit hard to tell from the trailer what whether it'll be obnoxious or be charming. So yeah, I don't know. It's
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, so then we have this is another one we hardly had anything. It's like a minute is the Enola Holmes, and I think the big draw from this is Millie Bobby Brown in this as the sister of Sherlock Holmes.
Okay. Oh, I didn't realize that was a concept for the film. But I guess that makes more sense now. Yeah, the little teaser that we got gives us pretty much nothing.
It's like 30 seconds.
She looks so much like Natalie Portman when they show her at the end there. So
yeah, and so it has Henry Cavill as Sherlock Holmes, Sam Claflin as Mycroft Holmes, Helena Bonham Carter is their mother, which I am very intrigued about. So just the cast alone and Millie Bobby Brown, you see her kind of winking at the screen. It definitely intrigues me. I love Sherlock Holmes. I hated the end of I hated Sherlock Series 4 was garbage, but hopefully this will be fun. We'll see. We don't have much to go off of.
Yeah, not much to go off of, but I do like that this is going to be Netflix film, so I don't have to pay to go see this one because it's not necessarily going to be my type of thing, but I have no problem watching it if it's going to be that easy to watch.
Yeah, this is PG-13 and it's coming out pretty soon, so hopefully I'm surprised they haven't given us a trailer. But anyway, so then we have Greenland. What did you think of Greenland?
Yeah, Greenland is our natural disaster film, I guess, which we seem to be getting a lot of those lately. And honestly, most of them are trash. And especially Gerard Butler, I don't think he knows how to pick great films.
No.
But I don't think this looks awful. I think it has potential. I'd rather see a natural disaster film where things are actually happening. And it looks like there's actually going to be quite a bit of action in here. And you're going to actually see these meteors hit the Earth. So that's intriguing for me. So I think it could be decent.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would be more interested in it if it didn't have Gerard Butler. I mean, after Geostorm and just so many of these terrible movies. And the I don't know, it just feels exhausting. I feel like we're living in a post-apocalyptic world. I don't need to go to the movies to see it. I mean, come on.
That's a very good point. But yeah, Gerard Butler is probably the part of this movie that makes me the most hesitant. So I think we're on the same page there.
Yeah. So then we have coming to Disney Plus, The Secret Society of Second Born Royals. And so the idea is that the second borns of the royal families basically have magic or something. And they're like their secret society of espionage and I don't know. The thing that makes me honestly the most skeptical about this movie is that Disney Plus has not advertised it at all, even a little bit. And so far, I don't know, it's been hit and miss as far as their Disney Plus original films. That obviously they have ones that they promote heavily, like Hamilton. But then other things like Artemis Fowl, or I haven't seen The One and Only Ivan that just came out this weekend, but I've heard mixed things about that. I liked what I saw, but they didn't advertise it at all. And then, but they have really good stuff that they hardly advertised at all. Is like Togo was actually really good, and I really liked Timmy Failure, and they hardly advertised that. So I don't know, it's a weird thing. But what did you think about the Secret Society of Second Royals?
Yeah, so I think it's an interesting concept, but to me, this trailer screamed Disney Channel original movie.
Yeah.
It kind of seems like The Descendants, something in that vein, which I haven't seen that, but those type of movies do not appeal to me. So honestly, I probably will skip this one.
Like, I enjoy them for what they are, but they're not high cinema. They're made for TV movies.
Exactly.
But so yeah, it does kind of look on that level as far as the production and everything. So that'll be interesting to see. What do you think of Ava? Just Chastain.
Yeah, Ava was interesting. I do like Jessica Chastain a lot. For some reason, these female spy thrillers, none of them have really connected with me. I don't know why. I think that there's potential there for one of them to really hit it out of the park. I don't actually see this being the one, even though I do like Jessica Chastain. It didn't really connect with me based on the trailer. So I'm not that excited about it.
Yeah, I mean, it does have a good cast. John Malkovich, Gina Davis. It has Colin Farrell. But yeah, the trailer looked kind of generic, but hopefully it'll be good. I don't know.
Yeah, I would love for this to be the one, especially with the cast. So maybe I'll be surprised. Maybe reviews will be incredible for this, but I don't see it right now.
Yeah. Well, so next we have The Glorias, which is coming out, and I saw this at Sundance, so I thought I would talk about it. There isn't a trailer yet, but this is about Gloria Steinem, the feminist leader, and it has a lot of good elements to it. It has a great cast. The idea is that you have a young Gloria riding a bus, and she ends up kind of meeting all the other Glorias along the way, and then they tell her story. That's sort of the conceit. And so like Alicia Vikander is like a young Gloria, and then Julianne Moore is like a middle-aged Gloria or whatever, and to current Gloria. And there's child Gloria and a middle school age Gloria. Anyway, and the problem with this movie is that they tried to tackle way too much. They should have just picked one part of her life and told that part of her life, like they do for, say, Walk the Line, or I don't know, any number of good biopics where they just tell this one part of their life. No, they have to tell the entire scope of Gloria Steinem's life. And it just wasn't very well done. I thought the script was very poor. And yeah, the acting has good moments, but because it's all splintered and you got this whole conceit of them all on the bus, I didn't like it. And it's not an awful movie. I didn't hate it, but it was way too long and just not interesting. And the main problem is this whole conceit that they had and just trying to tackle literally every detail of her life. I mean, they don't let anything go. You're like, did we really need to know that? So I can't recommend it, but I don't know. If it's on Disney, I mean, if it's on Netflix, I guess you could watch it eventually down the road. But I wouldn't go to the theaters to see it personally. So, all right. So then we have a little movie called Wonder Woman 1984. Did you see the newest trailer for this?
Yeah, I watched that this morning, actually, and I'm glad I did because I'm looking forward to this movie a lot more than I initially was.
Really? So that trailer won you over more, huh?
It did. So I guess based on how you worded that, you probably disagree. But
I mean, I'm still excited because I love the first one and I love Patty Jenkins' director and I love the character. So I'm still excited, but I was a little disappointed in this trailer. So I'm curious to hear why we had the different reaction. For me, the reason why I found it slightly disappointing is I'm really nervous about what they're going to do with Steve Trevor, and that his passing in the original film meant a lot to me, and it was really moving to me. And they're bringing him back for this movie, which makes me really nervous. And I just thought him being just this jokester laugh fest makes me really nervous, and I didn't really love that. And I also didn't love the cheetah stuff that I saw. It made me a little nervous as well, but I trust Patty Jenkins, and so I'm still super excited about the movie, but the trailer I thought was a little disappointing.
okay. So the reason that this trailer was more interesting to me is the first trailer that we saw, I just saw a lot of the same. I didn't see much to distinguish this movie from the first one that came out. So it left me like saying why is this even being made?
Yeah.
So I do think this new trailer kind of showed a new direction and a new story. It definitely seems like it's going down a different path. So I appreciate that. And I did like Cheetah in this. Kristen Wiig being cast as Cheetah has been pretty interesting from the get-go. And I feel like she's going to be a pretty dynamic character based on what we saw in this new trailer. So, yeah, that was enough to get me pretty excited.
Yeah, I mean, you bring up a really good point. I just don't want anything to sort of cheapen his sacrifice and what he did, because that meant a lot to me. That's the tricky part, isn't it? Kind of like we're talking about with Mulan, is how much do you honor the original versus how much do you do something new? Like that's a really hard dynamic.
Right. And I do agree about the Steve Trevor thing. But for me, we've known for a while that he was going to be in this. So seeing him in this trailer didn't really change my opinion on it. I mean, I agree. I think his death should have been finalized in that first film, because I hate when movies remove stakes, especially superhero films. A lot of them, like, death isn't death. And like that takes away any sort of emotional punch.
Yeah. I agree. And like, if you're going to bring it back, at least have it have some degree of gravitas and not just, oh, I'm here to make jokes. I don't know. I'm nervous about it. I want it to be good.
It's going to be good. I'm going to speak it into existence. It's going to be good.
Please, Patty, please. So, all right. Then we have the magnum opus, After We Collided, which I'm sure you're very excited about.
Oh, yes. So excited. This looks like trash to me, to be honest.
Yeah, it really does. I never saw the original film, and I have no desire to see the sequel, the follow-up.
Oh, is this a sequel to After?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. That makes sense, because they both look like really soft core porn for teenagers. Yeah. I don't think this looks good at all.
No, it looked terrible. A lot of steamy scenes, though, I guess, if that's what people want, if that's your jam, then you can watch that. But no, thank you.
Yep. It has its audience, and it is not us.
No, it's not. So then there's The Death of Me. What did you think of this? I thought this also looked like trash. I thought it looked terrible.
Okay. Yeah, I just watched this trailer this morning, and I don't remember everything about it, but from what I do remember, it did seem pretty intriguing. It's this couple that I guess they wake up and they find this video of them from the night before, and she sees herself being murdered by her husband. So I'm kind of intrigued. The thing that makes me kind of nervous about this is that they put the other Hemsworth in this.
Right.
So
the forgotten Hemsworth.
Yeah. So
Luke.
Luke.
And
I couldn't even remember his name.
So
it's probably not going to be great, but hey, I might check it out. I'm always down for a good bad horror movie, so hopefully it'll be good bad and not bad.
Right. So what did you think of Honest Thief trailer?
Okay, so you mean Taken 16?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm good. Liam Hemsworth has really like just become kind of like a
Liam
parody
Neeson?
of himself. Yes.
Not Liam Hemsworth.
Did I say Liam Hemsworth?
Yeah, you
did.
Yeah.
Okay. Liam Neeson, yes. He has become kind of a parody of himself. He just keeps going down this path. Occasionally, he has a good one that's in this genre, but I don't think this is going to be very good. Even the name of it, like Honest Thief. So that's like, okay, so he's being honest about this money that he's stolen. Let's call it Honest Thief.
Right.
Like, no.
Yeah, I know. It does look pretty generic. I did think I liked The Commuter more than most. I thought that was pretty well done. But he keeps making the same movie over and over again.
Right.
So I think that's the problem.
I agree that. Yeah, I agree. Like, what was the movie that he had last year with the snow plow?
Oh yeah, what was it? Cold
Can't even remember
Pursuit.
Cold Pursuit. That was actually pretty good. So.
Yeah, and this one has Jai Courtney in it. So there's Robert Patrick. So, all right. Then we have Candyman. Have you seen the original Candyman?
I have not seen the original Candyman.
Oh.
I do have it on DVD. So the goal is to watch it before this because it seems like this is more of a sequel than a remake.
Oh.
So, yeah, because I think they reference the whole incident with Candyman from years prior. So I definitely feel like I need to be more prepared going into this one, but it is a movie that I am looking forward to. So
IMDb describes it as a spiritual sequel to the horror film Candyman.
Okay, whatever that means.
Yeah, he returns to the now gentrified Chicago neighborhood where the legend began. So yeah, this looked interesting, I thought. Scary, very scary. But in pretty much all unknowns, at least to me, nobody I recognized. So that could be interesting. And this director now, they've tapped her to be the director for Captain Marvel Part 2. I mean, 2. So that kind of intrigues me. They must kind of like what they see from this movie. So.
Yeah, hopefully so. I know that Candyman is something special for Jordan Peele. He's a producer on this, but that's the movie that inspired him. That's the movie that has created this new horror genius that we've been seeing the past few years. So I trust that he wouldn't let this be a product that he doesn't have his stamp of approval behind. So I think it'll be good no matter what.
All right. So then we have Death on the Nile. And this is our next Hercule Poirot from Agatha Christie. And so the first one I thought was kind of a snooze. I didn't really like it, but I thought it had potential, and I thought the character had potential. So hopefully they will make this one better. I don't know. I mean, it felt like it was definitely leaning a lot on its on a star-powered cast. But I don't know. I like a good mystery, and I did think the character had potential. The problem in the last one was that he spent like the last 30 minutes just standing in front of a table talking instead of, so that's not interesting. So I don't know. What did you think about this trailer?
Well, first of all, I'll say that I think I have a pretty different opinion on Murder on the Orient Express than you. I actually
Mm-hmm.
really enjoyed it. Um, so that alone has me pretty interested in this one. The trailer did seem pretty interesting. It it's not going to be an exact replica of Murder on the Orient Express, I think, based on this trailer. So I appreciate that. My only concern is that I think Knives Out has set a new standard for this type of film, and I don't quite think this is going to live up to what Knives Out was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it'd just be a question of is there enough? Is the mystery good? Are there enough good clues? I mean, that was my problem with Murder on the Orient Express. Is I felt like they didn't do the mystery very good. I felt like it was just him standing in front of a table explaining stuff, and that's not like what you want. Is there to be like a clue and then another clue and then another clue and oh is that oh that's a red herring, oh no, I'm surprised there, and then oh there's another clue. Like that's what gets you invested in these kind of mysteries, not the detective just explaining what happened.
Right. I agree
So
with that. So I, I haven't read any of these Agatha Christie novels, so that's one thing I have in my favor is that I can go into these and have no idea what to expect, or so it's a complete mystery for me,
yeah,
and that may be one of the reasons I'm looking forward to this.
yeah, I haven't read this one either actually. So yeah, there's that. It is always a hard, like, it's tough when you have previous adaptations plus if you've read the book, it can be challenging. So all right, last one that we have is the animated film Connected, and this is produced by Lord and Miller, and it's some of the same team that did Spider-Verse, which I loved. And it's described Katie Mitchell is accepted into film school for dreams. Her whole family drives Katie to school together when their plans are interrupted by tech uprising. The Mitchells will have to work together to save the world. So, what do you think about this trailer?
Yeah, this is another trailer. I don't remember what I referred to earlier that kind of felt like two different movies in one, but
Mm-hmm.
this is also that you start watching the trailer and it just becomes a different film halfway through. I can appreciate that, but it doesn't always work. I hope it does work with this
Mm-hmm.
one because it could be a really cute family film. So I'm I'm not really sure what to expect as of now.
But I thought the animation looked really fun, and they have a talented voice cast, and I hope it'll be funny because it'll have hopefully some of that kind of cheekiness that you saw in films like Spider-Verse and Lego Movie and things like that, kind of that idea. And so I'm pretty optimistic. I hope it'll be good. I liked the trailer. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what we get. It'll be nice to see an animated film in theaters again, because it's been since Onward.
Oh
So
wow, yeah, that's
yeah,
been a while.
yeah. So anyway, so there we go. We did it. So that's the preview up until for September, end of August, September, October. Let us know what you think. Which ones are you excited for? If there's a hidden gem in here that maybe you hadn't heard of or that you're looking forward to, let us know in the comment section or on Twitter. We'd love to hear your thoughts. And David, where can people find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter. I am the David Healy, and you can also find me and Rachel in a Facebook group called Film Freaks. It's facebook.com/Film Freaks Group.
Great. Yes, and you can find me at Rachel's Reviews, all of our social media, iTunes, YouTube, and on Rotten Tomatoes. So please check all of that out. I'm going to be doing a lot of new reviews. I also am going to be this weekend at a guy at the movies virtual film festival. I'm going to be doing a panel on toxic fandom. That's going to be good. And then on Sunday, we're going to be doing a live episode of Hallmarkies Podcast where we're going to be talking about the movie Hitch. It's going to be a lot of fun, and it's free to sign up. So go and register. I'll put all the information in the description section. So check that out. And thank you so much, David. I really appreciate it. And we'll talk to you all later. Have fun at the movies. Bye.
Bye.
Everyone.